This is an unprecedented time during the last several months, and especially this last week, in terms of the unprecedented level of hate against Asian Americans here in the United States. We have amassed an amazing group of thought leaders from here in the Texas area, from Houston to San Antonio to Dallas to Austin. We're all here to speak upon, their thoughts in their community and what's been going on relative to the tragedies that have been happening to the Asian American communities here, especially here in Texas. I do want to announce on March 26th is Stop Asian Hate Day. We will drop an announcement into that chat in regard to how communities and corporations can be involved on the National Coalition Day to speak out on stopping the hate against Asians here in the United States. So with that, we're going to open up with an opening statement from Mr. Channy Sir out of, I believe, out of Houston, Texas, and he's going to step up with his first opening statement, and then we will follow up with several others. So, Channy, I turn it over to you. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Channy Sir with the Network of Asian American Organization. I'm here in Austin, Texas. I'm pleased to present a panel. What happened here? I'm not sure why.
Okay. You're still good, sir. You're still good.
I'm sorry.
No
I'm pleased to present a panel of Asian American leadership to the member of the news media this morning. Our goal is to band together to speak out against hate. Shortly after this morning press conference, we will take action on 5 concrete items. First, work with local and state governments to develop safety measures for Asian community. Second, we will develop public awareness campaign to combat anti-Asian discrimination. Third, we will encourage volunteerism and donation to empower the AAPI community. Fourth, we will advance public education and awareness about historical discrimination. Fifth, we will call on Governor Abbott to establish a special commission to combat hate crimes in the state of Texas. With that, I'd like to turn over to the moderator, Albert Chen.
Thank you, Channy, for your opening remarks. Next, we will turn it over to Mr. Robert Lee, founder and CEO of Pearlstone Partners and former board chair and current board of advisors of the Greater Austin Asian Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Albert and Channy. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for attending here today. As Albert had said, my name is Robert Lee. I'm the CEO of Pearlstone Partners, a Central Texas real estate development company. I'm here on behalf of my own self as a representative of the Asian community. The recent and growing persecution of the Asian community has brought up painful memories of my own past. I'm the first person in my family to be born in America. Both my Chinese and Taiwanese immigrant family. My middle school years were spent up in Alabama during the late 60s and 70s, where I firsthand saw the movement from segregation to integration. But being neither African American nor white, I experienced my own unique challenges. My parents cautioned me to stay silent and not cause trouble. In fact, we were encouraged not to speak our own native language. We were a silent minority. Today, the growing animosity against our Asian community calls us to bring this silence to an end. This story spans generations. The construction of our railroads to the incarceration of the Japanese American community during World War II to the current times. From March of last year to February of this year, there have been over 3,700 incidents of abuse and assault reported by the Asian community here in the United States. Even closer to home here in Austin, a local Asian American owned bakery was harassed and threatened after being featured in a viral Austin article. As an active member of the Asian community, I am joining in unity with my fellow Asian leaders here today from other cities across the state to ask our local and state leadership to take action to address this growing threat. Racism is a narrative that should not be part of any community. Hopefully, breaking this silence and coming forth with our shared experiences, we can present and forge a new beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. I do want to recognize Ms. Susan Zeb here from Congressman Eddie Bernice Johnson's here. We're honored to have you here, so thank you for being here on this call. Next, we have Ms. Cindy Dow from Houston First, Director Retail, and she is on the Board of Directors of the Houston Asian Chamber of Commerce. And also, this is being recorded, so it will be made available to the community once it is complete. Thank you very much. Cindy.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. The Houston Asian Chamber of Commerce and many AAPI organizations here in Houston share in the grief and the anger of the senseless murders in Atlanta and all the attacks on our community. We condemn the hateful acts of discrimination and violence aimed at the Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there were an estimated of 575,000 Asian-owned businesses in 2019 in the U.S. Over 45,000 of those Asian-owned businesses operate in the Harris County and Fort Bend County area. It is imperative that we bring awareness to the hate and demand action to protect our community and their businesses. We also want to thank the City of Houston on the local level in elevating police presence in Asiatown to keep our businesses open and our customers safe. And we ask the state and national level provide more support and resources for Asian-owned businesses in the communities that we serve. Together, the Houston Asian Chamber stands in solidarity with the AAPI community, and we will urge everyone to stand up against anti-Asian hate and racism in any form. We also urge the public to support Asian-owned businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. Next, we have Mr. Gal Yumas. He is the past president of the Greater Dallas Asian Chamber of Commerce. I turn it over to you, Gal.
Thank you, Albert. My name is Galileo Humam. As the past president of the Greater Dallas Asian American Chamber of Commerce, which is a conglomerate of over 20 ethnic communities here in Dallas. Dallas is the international diverse city, and we have a population here of Asian Americans who almost like silent but and also invisible in our community. So with all the news surrounding us, we are bothered by this impact in our community, and we would like to gather together in a collective manner what is happening to our community and project and make a public statement, especially against hate crime of Asian American Pacific Islanders in Dallas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gail. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Elva Adams, Senior Vice President, Jefferson Bank, and former board chair of the Alamo Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, everyone. And my name is Elva Adams, and I represent Alamo Asian American Chamber of Commerce here in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm current board member with the chamber and also a chair committee member for governmental relationship. And I also believe we have our current board member, Elisa Chen, also on the call. And recently, we just have an incident happening in San Antonio just last week. And our chamber is standing behind for rise of Asian American ethnic group together with several group and chambers are here today. And we are denouncing the hate crimes and bigotry towards Asian American with several incidents that occurs across the nation. And we have a major concern that these incidents are continue to threaten the Asian American in our city and different communities across the board. So the resounding saying of diversity and inclusion respects individuals from all walks of lives, regardless of skin color and race, to exercise certain freedoms of expressions and be entitled to their own view without threat to others. So we are calling for city leaders, state leaders, and all branches of government to support us and stay behind us, because this type of hatred, it needs to be stopped. As you see, historically, Asian American, we are pretty silent. We just work on our own, and we continue to work very hard. And usually for things that like this, we don't have a chance to voice our voice. But this needs to be stopped, and it's increasing the concerns with things that happen across the nation. So thank you so much for including us, and we hope that something that will happen to prevent further incidents to happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. Next, we have Mr. Jimmy Ferguson, owner-operator of many McDonald's franchisees in the Austin area. He is also the policy chair of the National Asian Chamber of Entrepreneurship. So I turn it over to you, Mr. Jimmy Ferguson. You're on mute. Jimmy, you're on mute. There you go.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you, Albert, and good morning to all. And thank you so much for participating in this event this morning. You know, we are all very saddened by what has taken place in Atlanta. And however, this is not a new, new environment that we are just experiencing today. This is happening for over 12 months now. We knew back in January, February, and especially in March of 2020, incidents taking place throughout the country. You know, we have for the last 12 months, we saw 150% increase in a violence towards Asian communities throughout the country. You know, just a few weeks ago, the New York Police Department in New York City stated that they received 1,900% increase as it relates to AAPI communities in connection to the pandemic. Nationally, you know, we're also seeing the policymaker in Congress debating, discussing this issue and what steps that needs to take place nationally. So we know that Congresswoman Grace Ming from New York and Senator Hirano from Hawaii has authored a House Bill 1843, which is officially called the COVID-19 Hate Crime Act. What this act states that we are calling on the Judicial Department, Attorney General's office, to create an office, an agency within the Justice Center to monitor, to develop response, and work very closely with the state and local and federal law enforcement agencies. And also what this call is to work with the Secretary of Health and Human Services to develop programs in language concerning not only the pandemic, but the environment that we are living now and how to respond when our community members are attacked verbally, physically, and through online. As we move through this process, both at federal level and state level, and most importantly at local level, you know, we ask that all members of our community, you know, all members of colors, citizens in our community to come together. The only way that we can eliminate this type of environment, this type of hate, is for all of us to get together. So thank you, Albert.
Thank you, Jimmy. Do want to actually acknowledge Ms. Kimberly Nam from the Dallas Police Department for being here. So thank you for taking the time from the law enforcement community to be here. Next, I want to turn to Ms. Leslie Vargas, the Mayor of Austin's office. She is here to say a few words on her own behalf. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you. My name is Leslie Vargas. I am Chief of Staff to Mayor Steve Adler in Austin and here on behalf of the office, but I actually have a very personal message for the community. Before this role, I was Executive Director of the Asian American Resource Center, nonprofit in the community. And I wanted to share that I understand the gratitude many of our families feel toward this country. I also understand the fear of speaking up in order to survive. But I want to say to all of us, especially the East Asian members of our AIPA family, that we did not cross an ocean in order to watch our grandparents and mothers and children be afraid to go to the grocery store. Whether you work in a kitchen, an engineering firm, a small business, a hospital, a massage parlor, you are as American as anyone. You deserve safety, you deserve respect, and you deserve accountability. Accountability from local and state and national government, but also accountability from the media and each other. The fact that Asian mothers and grandmothers were murdered in a shooting spree, and the headlines suggested that a 21-year-old was, had a sexual addiction and a bad day, is outrageous, and it's not new. I'll tell you that Asian Americans have been having a bad year. It's March 23rd today. Last year, on March 14th, here in Texas, not in Atlanta, a family, a father and a 2-year-old boy and a 6-year-old boy were stabbed in Midland while grocery shopping in a Sam's Club. At that time, the FBI wrote a report that actually predicted this year, the following year that we've just had, would see an exponential rise in hate crime against Asian Americans. And the question I have is, where was the follow-through on that report? I would also say that it hasn't stopped. It's not only not new, it hasn't stopped. On Sunday in Manhattan, there were at least 3 more incidents against Asian American women, including a woman who was walking to a vigil, an anti-Asian violence vigil about Atlanta, who had her sign taken from her and was punched in the face by a man, and another older 54-year-old woman that afternoon who was called slurs and hit in the face with a metal pipe. It isn't over. It isn't new, and we are going to join together, I think, in a way that we never have had before, all of us, to demand accountability, to seek specific policy measures, but also to encourage government to have conversations with our communities about how to best keep us safe. I have so much sorrow for what happened, and again, both in my official and personal capacity, we're here and we're ready to stand up together with the rest of the community and fight for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Finally, we have Ms. Margaret Chen Kircher, attorney at the Law Office of Margaret Chen Kircher. Margaret.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Margaret Chen Kircher, and I am an attorney here in Austin, Texas. But more importantly, I'm here as an Asian American representing all of you and understanding that we all need the process to grieve. And alongside that, we also need our allies and ourselves, those who can, to be able to be vigilant and also educate people. All of these emotions surrounding this current resurgence of violence, I know, gives us memories, maybe negative memories of what has happened to us in the past. But alongside that process of grieving, we also need to move forward and figure out how do we move forward. It is also true that as Asian Americans, we are not a monolith. We have so many ideas, philosophies, opinions within our community. But I think one thing is that we do share is the idea that senseless acts of violence or hate or racism cannot be tolerated. And let me tell you what we've done here in Travis County. We have reached out to the district attorney here in Travis County, as well as the county attorney, and we are working with them to provide and protect the AAPI community. I know that the district attorney has put out a statement along with the Austin-Travis County Task Force Against Hate Crimes, and we look forward to working with them in the future as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. So that concludes the opening remarks from our various speakers. Do want to acknowledge Ms. Yingle McGuire, Global Vice President of Technology Integration Group and founding board member of the Greater Austin Asian Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Paul Gore and Barbara Gallo of the Houston Asian Chamber of Commerce, co-executive directors, Fang Feng of the Greater Austin Asian Chamber of Commerce, the CEO, Christy Penders, the PR manager for the Texas Gas Services, and Michelle Dostrom, marketing director of CAS Engineers. So with that, I want to definitely also acknowledge the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce, Rowena Waters and Gus Mercado. Thank you for dropping your attendance here. Definitely appreciate you being here. So now this is time for press questions. So if there's any members of the press that are still on and has a question, please raise your hand, and how you want to direct the question to. If there's a specific request, please drop it in. Let's see. There are requests for the recording.
Hey there, everybody. Will Dupree once again in the KXAN live studio. Thank you all for sticking around to watch this stream. You've just been hearing from different representatives from groups all across the state of Texas representing different aspects of the Asian American community, highlighting the rise and reported hate crimes and violence against members of the community, not just here in Texas, but all across the country, really, namely highlighting that shooting that happened in Georgia last week that killed 8 people, including 6 women of Asian descent. One of the recommendations that you may not have heard or missed was that some of these groups are going to be asking that Governor Abbott form a commission to address hate crimes in the state of Texas. We'll obviously have to reach out to the governor's office to see if there's any kind of traction to support that kind of idea, but just wanted to highlight that as one potential point of action that could come out of this particular news conference. It's still underway at this time. I did want to let you all know that we are reporting about news right now that the Texas Department of State Health Services just announced that every adult in the state of Texas can now get the COVID-19 vaccine starting on March 29th. So coming up in just about, 6 days now? March 29th, every adult in Texas will be eligible to get the shot to fight against COVID-19. We're going to listen in once again into this news conference. Wanted to jump in with those 2 bits of news. We'll be reporting more about that Texas DSHS action on our website, KXAN.com, and the KXAN News app, so please download that if you've not done so. Let's take a listen once again to this news conference.
Great. Anybody else care to comment? Jimmy? Oh, that's something you've touched on.
Thanks, Albert.
Yeah.
Albert, nationally, National Asian Pacific Islander American Chamber of Commerce and Entrepreneurship, along with Asian Pacific Islander scholars, have established a resolution about 4 weeks ago, and concerning not only bringing awareness, but also identify a solution, working together, and to the policymaker in Washington, D.C., and also to the Fortune 100 corporations, too. The national groups who came first to support the resolution and support alleviating what is taking place today with the AAPI community was the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce and U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So those were the 2 groups who embraced not only the resolution, but working with the AAPI community to resolve what's happening, along with, at the same time, the United States Chamber of Commerce. So the business communities are all coming together. And the business community also knew that today there are over 30% of AAPI business, small business, that's been closed temporarily or permanently. And not only because of the pandemic, but as stated earlier by some of the speakers, that their businesses is also being abused, whether it's graffiti, whether it's threats, whether it's damage. and the frightenedness of the employees to come to work. So there is a correlation, that there is a embracement from many of the national business communities to work with our community on this. Thanks, Albert.
Thank you. I have a question here from Mr. I believe it is Lane Oldman from the Community Impact newspaper in Austin. The question is for both Margaret and Leslie. The question is, what can local elected officials do to address this issue in Austin? Are there specific policies they can enact, or is there something the DA can go after? Why don't we start with Margaret, then to Leslie.
So there is already a task force in place for Austin, Travis County. Generally speaking, I will say that hate crimes are more difficult, that they will say that there's more difficulty to prove, to gather evidence. With that said, it does not minimize the request, right, to report these types of incidents. We need people to report these incidents. If you feel more comfortable reporting these incidents to community-based organizations such as Stop AAPI Hate, please do so. And we hope that in the near future that we will have a hotline set up so that people locally here in Austin and Travis County will be able to do that in a community. Because I understand that there is still sort of a disconnect between reporting and reporting it to law enforcement. There is also a hotline already set up for the city of Austin. So if you go there, you will see that you can report it online or by phone. And I do urge you that if there is an emergency, go ahead and call 911. Or if you believe that there was an incident that happened a couple days ago or not at that moment, go ahead and call 311 as well.
Leslie.
Sure, and thank you for that response. I think Margaret covered some of the key issues. You know, we're concerned about preventing this, we're concerned about reporting it, and we're concerned about prosecuting it, if you think about those as three buckets. And, you know, with respect to preventing it, I think that local, state, and federal government, the messaging, which is important, I know Representative Wu is bringing that in, to condemn this behavior is important. It's a first step. I think beyond that, public service messaging around the fact that it will be prosecuted to the extent that it dissuades people, I think that's relevant. Again, this is a bipartisan group of leaders on this conversation, but I think there are conversations around untreated mental health and gun control in play here, and that's all relevant. I think in terms of, and government, various components of government can have responsibility in all of those spaces. And I think that in addition, on the reporting piece, you know, Stop AIPA Hate, if they had not had the foresight to set up that mechanism, we would not have the data. In all of these calls and articles, people are citing to their numbers because no one else has done an adequate job of tracking the numbers that we're talking about. And it's difficult for government to allocate resources without those numbers. And so I think the next conversation needs to be with government. What are we doing to track these incidences so that we understand the scale and the scope and the resources necessary to deal with them? I don't see that tracking happening at a government level, and I would suggest that as a priority. And again, to Margaret's point, it may not be that the police or the government is the best source of that tracking. Stop AIPA is obviously a community-based group. It could be government working in partnership with an organization that has more community credibility and trust.
Thank you, Leslie. I just want to make sure we follow up with Christy. If you can help me follow with Mr. Jack Heiberger with NBC5 in Dallas. He'd like to request an interview with Gal. So
Yes. So what's easiest is if everyone that has the news release, the contacts are on there. And if not, put your info in the chat and we'll get you to the right person. But if you can set up a Zoom link and then send it via email or text to the person in your area that you want to interview, that would be easiest. But I'm also happy to help, coordinate if we get mixed up a little bit.
Thank you, Christy. There's a question here from the community. Sandy Mancada, what is the Dallas Asian community doing, or what city departments are you working to help the Asian community? Maybe we'll have the Dallas rep, Gal, tackle that question, please.
Well, this event going on here nationally just awakens the dragon in our county and in our area here in Texas. There are several groups or organizations. I was the president of the Chamber of Commerce for over 25 years now, and we have so many, we are not monolithic. And there are several groups, organizations, and they have their own community centers, organizations, clubs, and temples and churches. And right now they're doing on their own. They're coming out with their own statement. We have the Dallas Fort Worth Asian American Citizens Council. We have the Asian Chamber of Texas. We have the Asian Contractors Association. And in fact, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, Texas. They are all different groups that will come together, and hopefully this media conference will gather together the entire organizations to have a collective stand and statement and actions towards these events happening in our community. So after this conference, we will gather the network of organizations, Asian American organizations, and we will respond to the call of actions which we have stated in our media release, and implement it, put some skeleton or flesh and bones on our projects. So hopefully the media will be a channel of making our public statement. Will also create an educative effect to our own communities, because our communities who are invisible and silent will come out also on their own, and how to also come out based on the report from Margaret and Leslie, like reporting and recording. Right now, we don't have that other than the Dallas Police Department Community Affairs, who are gathering some data for our community. So hopefully this will be an opening salvo initiative to come together. Thank you, Albert.
Thank you, Gal. We have a question from the press, Ms. Jamil Doneth from Spectrum News. The question is, can you please talk about the lack of representation of AAPIs in the Texas leadership and government roles compared to the growing percentage of Asian Americans in the state of Texas? Let's try, Jimmy, would you like to tackle that? And maybe then Sydney after that.
This is it's really a hard question. You know, we know that today, as of today, Texas has the fourth largest AAPI hate type of act in the United States. Not the fourth largest, you know. And with that, you know, we do have representations in Texas House of Representatives with 3 representatives, you know, 2 from Houston and 1 from Dallas. But I think as we become more and more aware of the need of representations, not only from the AAPI communities, but also other communities of color, I believe that you are going to see more and more Asian candidates, especially in the metro areas. And I already mentioned Dallas and Houston, but Austin and San Antonio. We're also seeing, you know, more and more people who've been interested in the last national election, more and more Asian Americans running for the U.S. House of Representatives. So I think from this point on, I believe there will be more candidates. So thank you, Albert.
Thank you. Yeah, Sydney or Elza, any questions or anyone answer that? I'm trying to spread the wealth here, so.
Onto that. I think in Houston, we're very fortunate that Gene Wu is based here out of Houston. We feel like there is representation in our community because he is very vocal and, is always speaking out on our behalf. And I just remember growing up as a child. I grew up in Houston, and we had, gosh, I've forgotten her name now, but there was a Chinese American councilwoman growing up. And she had a Southern accent, but it was amazing. So I've always felt growing up. Yes. I remember always feeling that there was representation at some level here in Houston. But I agree with Galileo that the representation will continue to grow, especially after this year.
Thank you. Let's see, we have a question from Tiffany Liu with WFAA. Question is, are local Asian community leaders and orgs working with others like NAACP and LULAC, et cetera? So, Gal, since you're here in Dallas, why don't you take that one?
We have already an existing coalition and partnership relationship here in Dallas. In fact, among the chambers, we call it tri-ethnic chamber coalition, the Hispanic, the Black, and the Asian chambers of commerce. At the state level, we have already a relationship coalition with TFAC, that's Texas Federation of Asian Chambers of Commerce, the TAMAC, the Texas Mexican American Chamber of Commerce, and the TAC, the Texas African American Chambers of Commerce. But right now, that foundation is more on the business economic. They haven't turned their eye yet on the advocacy and also on the political aspect of our community. So hopefully we will use these existing structures, these systems, to pull us ourselves and catapult this movement that we have through coalition with them, either in the city level or the state level. We will revisit ourselves because since, as you said, this is the first time that we have come together, and now after this, we'll be reaching out to our coalition members and establish that relationship with them. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, just last call. Any other questions from the press? Looks like just requests for recording. So, okay. Well, we will wrap up this part of the press conference. So thank you for all those from the media that have attended. Again, we will follow up with additional direct Zoom interviews for those that have requested it. Christy Penders will help facilitate that, but definitely want to thank again everyone for attending, members of the community, members from the local elected offices, and most importantly, those of here, the leadership here throughout Texas from the AAPI community to be here to offer your thoughts on what is going on and to continue this dialogue in terms of the Stop Asian Hate Day that is coming up also this Friday on March 26th. So again, thank you again for taking the time to be here. Definitely want everyone a safe day today and be healthy. So thank you again.